Hi guys, my name is Brittany. I've decided to put together this It Gets Better video as a way to share my own story with coming out to my family and to also share a few other perspectives from some of my friends who were gracious enough to help me out with this project. I think one thing that I've learned from sharing my own experiences is that it really does help to have multiple viewpoints to draw from, because no two experiences are alike, and whatever you're going through, I'm sure, is unique to you and your family and your story, but there's definitely someone out there who has been through something similar, and the purpose of all of this is to really just let you know that at the end of the day, whether you're at the beginning, the middle, or wherever along your journey, whether you're having a really hard time with it or whether it's going super smoothly, that it will get better. Even if it's already awesome, it's going to keep getting better. So I hope that you find this helpful and enlightening, encouraging. So here we go.
Hey guys, I'm Julie. I'm Brittany's little sister, and
Hi everybody, my name is Isra.
But yeah, my coming out story was pretty normal.
Hi, I'm Alexis, and I'm bisexual.
But I think the first time that I really accepted that I might be gay was when I was in college, and I had a friend who came out to me, and I was very surprised. We were both very social, very outgoing, very feminine, no interest in sports whatsoever, kind of your silly stereotype of what it's like to be gay that I had inadvertently always used to dismiss how I felt and kind of excuse any thoughts that I had about possibly being gay.
I started working in a brand new place. I met a brand new girl, and she was amazing and awesome, and I realized I had a crush on her. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I almost couldn't believe it, but
My coming out story to my parents and my family wasn't very difficult. So positive story. They're 100% supportive, and they love me unconditionally, and I understand that that's not still a common thing today.
I told my mom like the day after I realized, I guess, and my mom just kind of stopped. She was looking away from me. She kind of stopped what she was doing, and then she turned around and goes, "I knew it." I was like, "Oh." Yeah, and that was that for my mom.
I was really nervous at first. I remember I couldn't do this until I had a boyfriend because I needed support and strength. But once it happened, I don't know, I didn't plan it. I was kind of in my bedroom. I don't even remember what I was doing. I was probably watching TV. I think my mind turned off, and my mom was in her bedroom, and I go in there and I'm just like, "Mom, I like guys." And she was just like, and then my dad walked in, and she was like, tell your dad what you like." And I was like, "Dad, I like guys." And my dad was like, "Okay."
But with my dad, I still haven't actually come out to him. It's just one of those things where I've introduced him to my girlfriend and just never spoke the words "I'm bi" or "I'm gay" or anything like that. It just is what it is, and everyone gets along, and it's totally cool, but I just don't like talking about sex with my dad, so I just pretend that I don't have it.
4 years ago, me and Brittany were hanging out. We went to Central Park, and that's when she decided to tell me that thought she might be gay, thought that she was looking at girls differently than she thought she ever would, and that she just felt like I should know, and that she needed someone in the family to give her some validity that we were going to be there for her. And it was kind of the first chip away at telling people where she stood. Obviously, me being her sister, especially being her younger sister, 4 years younger, I loved her. I didn't care. It didn't even faze me, and I knew I was going to love her and support her and do whatever she needed me to do to support her and get her through telling everyone else in her life.
a year later, when that same friend from college and I ended up starting a relationship, I had already kind of been through the whole process of learning to talk about it and learning to own it and accept myself and my sexuality. So by the time I got around to telling my parents, I was kind of just ready to burst. But the thing I hadn't really thought about, unfortunately, was that I didn't really take them along for that journey. And in retrospect, I wish I'd eased them in a little bit, because I pretty much just texted them one day and I was like, I have something to tell you. I'd been maintaining a long distance relationship for a few months at that point and was starting to just feel really bad about lying to them about, you know, if I was going down to see her or if she was coming up here. I just didn't want to keep that from them. And I was in love and so excited about everything that I was going through, and it just felt wrong to not be talking to my family about something that was so important to me. But I ended up calling them, which, if you're contemplating how to come out to your family, I would strongly advise that you do it in person. That was one thing that, if I could go back and change anything, I really wish that I'd had the patience and the courage to really just sit them down and have an in-person discussion about it. Because I know that that really hurt them, that I didn't trust them enough to talk to them in person. But it happened, and I called them and I said that I was in a relationship and that it was with a woman, and I had never been happier. And I thought that they took it really well. And then the next day kind of got hit with a lot of their anger and their confusion and just really not understanding what was going on. And I realized how, in retrospect, not so much at the moment because I was so upset about the whole thing, but really just realized how much I caught them off guard and blindsided them, which, thinking about it now, wasn't really all that fair.
She finally decided that she needed to put her happiness first, and she decided to tell my parents, and my parents, being your all-American parents, were not 100% happy with it. It wasn't what they really envisioned for her. It wasn't what they wanted. They were not happy. And eventually, through long conversations, hurtful conversations, sad conversations, angry conversations, eventually we kind of put it to rest, and we just decided to kind of let it work its course, give my parents their time to cope, to talk through it, to work through it, to kind of do what they needed to do to feel the most comfortable in the situation. Honestly, it took them maybe a year and a half to 2 years to finally accept it, to be okay with it, to realize this isn't a phase, my sister really is gay, and that they were something that they were going to have to accept and face.
We took it. My mom went into a mourning period where she wore black for a whole week, and all my family members were like dying laughing. Like, it was a Sunday. We usually meet each other, like the whole family, and she came over and she's like, "You won't believe what happened." She's like crying and dressed in all black, and my family's like, "What? Is Berto okay?" She's like, "He's gay." And they were all like, "So?"
I think maybe 6 months later or so, I finally had the courage to just sit them both down and talk to them about what was going on and just let them know that it hadn't changed, that I still had a girlfriend, that I was still gay, and just really ask them for the first time how they were feeling about everything, which I realized I hadn't done yet, which is kind of crazy to think about in retrospect, but I was just so caught up in my own experience, in my own head, that I wasn't really thinking about theirs. And I think that was the first time that we really had an honest conversation about everything that was going on.
But that didn't last too long. Like, my mom is like my best friend, so she kind of had to like understand. And I think she loves me like 100,000% more.
Know that I was once in a place where I really couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I couldn't see things ever getting better. And I was just accepting like the bad, the tumultuous, whatever state we were in as a family as my new norm. And I didn't realize that we could bounce back from it as a unit better than ever. Really just being able to be open and honest with one another, and me not really having to edit myself anymore and not having to keep this part of me from my family. And I think now that I'm out and that I have been willing to accept this part of myself and willing to be okay with them not being totally okay or totally comfortable all the time with everything. The fact that we've kind of come this far and have gotten to a place where we can just accept each other for who we are, it's way better than it was even before I came out to them.
And then maybe about a week ago, Brittany brought her current girlfriend home. And for the first time, my parents finally got to see my sister being in the happiest state she's ever been. They got to realize that although my sister is gay, she had the capability of finding an amazing girlfriend, someone who compliments my sister more than anyone else could have. Kind of made my sister just shine. And that's really when my parents realized, like, although my daughter might be gay, she's the happiest she has ever been, and her partner is great, and our partner is just gonna continue to push her in life and make her happy. And when all is said and done, that is what a parent wants for somebody. They do just want to be happy and to see their kid radiate and be what they want to be in life.
The fact that they saw that, it's the best.
I feel like I have to come out as bi all the time. A lot of people wouldn't guess that I am, and I feel sort of responsible because there's a lot of people who can't come out, and I feel like if I'm comfortable with coming out, I should be an example for other people. So I make it a point to let new coworkers know or new friends know, like, right away, in case they one day encounter an uncomfortable situation and need to have a reference point of what gay or bisexual looks like. So so that's my story, and I hope one day I could help someone any way that I can.
I think the one thing that a lot of the time people forget when they're coming out is that whether you like it or not, your parents have some kind of a view in their minds of who you're going to be, what type of person they're going to raise from the minute that they find out that they're having a baby, and maybe even before that. And that's not necessarily who that person's going to turn out to be. And just as they have to come to accept that their child is their own person, I think when you come out, you have to realize that your parents or your family members or whoever you're telling are people too. And if you're expecting them to give you love and acceptance and kindness, then you also should be ready and willing to give that in return.
I joined like a coming out group, and I heard other people's stories, and I think that's one thing that's like really important in this community is for everyone to like have each other's back and to just listen to each other, because it's really hard, because growing up you think you're the only person like this and you don't want to tell anyone, and I think community is something that's super important for us.
Finally, my parents are not 100% there, but getting there, maybe 90%. So we're just hoping that through Brittany's happiness and through Brittany's amazing new partner, that my parents will continue to support them and continue to love them. And I just want everyone else out there to know that literally when I say we hit rock bottom for a little while in my family when Brittany first came out, like, we're not exaggerating, and I'm sure many people watching this have been in the same boat or are in the same boat or about to begin the process of telling their parents. And know, although it may not be pretty all the time, may not be fun, it may not seem like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but there is. It's okay. Everyone copes in their own time. Everyone moves along and progresses and comes to terms with things on their own, and you just have to have a little faith, a little hope, and just kind of trust yourself and know you made the right decision and that you're going to be happy when all is said and done. And when you look back on things, you'll finally realize that how far people in your life have come. And I know you might feel alone, you might feel like nothing's going to ever be good again, but just please remember that it will be.
I think at the end of the day, it takes patience. And I think the younger that you come out, the less patience you have. myself included. I just wanted everything to be fixed and be okay immediately. And I didn't realize that I'd been going through this whole journey of self-acceptance and self-discovery for years. I mean, in retrospect, I really was coming to terms with my sexuality since I was probably, I don't know, 15, when my best friend came out, and I didn't take them along for that ride at all. And I was really 10 years ahead of the game by the time I even told them. So the fact that they've come as far as they have in 2 years says a lot, and I have nothing but respect for them for how far they've come.
You develop a sense of A, self, I think, B, resiliency, and just personal grit. And I think that's not consolation for, having to deal with difficulty. But I can say that it's a journey and it takes time. And, just be patient and just be you, right? And life's so short. And so I'm urging you to, whatever you're feeling, whatever you're going through, just realize that there are so many people in this world that have been in your place and that care about you and love you without even knowing you, right? You have this network, and I'm just going to say it again for the third and fourth time and fifth time, that it gets better. And that if you feel down or that you just feel like you just can't make it, just know that there are people that have overcome, and we're a family too. So it's very late, but I wanted to offer these words and just tell you how much you're loved and that you're bright and you're brilliant and this world needs you.